Hello all, this video is designed to help you feel a bit more confident, a bit more competent in delivering live lessons online. 5 really quick tips, so hopefully at least one of them is useful. If anyone wants any more support of any of these tips and wants to get in touch with me, you're absolutely welcome to do so. Hope you enjoy. So tip number 1 is one of my favorite productivity tips for navigating between different windows. So if you want to look at the chat and the Google Meet that you've got with your students, but you also want to be able to quickly navigate towards maybe a PowerPoint or a worksheet, a resource that you're showing the students, the quickest way to do that is by using a keyboard shortcut, which is Alt and Tab. So just to the left of your spacebar, you've got Alt. If you hold down Alt, and then if you press Tab, it brings up the menu of all the windows that you have open. If you keep pressing Tab, it will move through the window, and when you let go of Alt, it will then navigate to that window that you want to go to. If you do it again, if you just hold Alt and press Tab once, it will then just keep navigating between the last 2 windows that you had open. So if you want to quickly keep navigating between the PowerPoint presentation and come back to the Google Meet to look at the chat to see whether the students are responding to questions, this is by far the quickest way to do it, and it will save you a huge amount of time. Tip number 2 is another keyboard shortcut, and this time if you want to navigate between tabs on your web browser, there's another shortcut that you can use. So if you hold down Control in the bottom left of your keyboard and you press the number 1, it will navigate to the first tab on your list of tabs at the top from left to right. If you then keep Control held down, you can navigate to tab 2, to tab 3 and 4 and so on. So if you are sharing a resource online, and maybe it's an article, or you're using something like Whiteboard, which I know some of you have been using, a quick way to navigate between them is hold Control and press the number on your keyboard to navigate to that tab. A top tip to make that even easier for you, if you know that you need to navigate between tabs at the start of your live lesson, put them at numbers 1 and 2 and 3 and so on, because it will be much easier than if you've got 1 tab at number 1 and 1 tab open at number 8 or something like that. Tip number 3 is about the chat function on Google Meet. The chat function is a great tool to allow students to interact in your lessons, but sometimes it can become a distraction. So if you want to stop students commenting because maybe they're putting inappropriate comments, or you just want to make them concentrate on your delivery of the lesson, if you navigate to the chat section in the side menu here, then you can select this button for let everyone send messages. That removes the option for everyone else to send a message, but you can still send messages yourself, whether that's a link or something like that, and students will still see that. So remember, that's accessible by clicking up here as well, and then you can turn that back on later in the lesson if you wish to allow students to respond again. Tip number 4 is about how to correctly use the Present Now button on Google Meet. So when you click Present Now, you're presented with 3 options. Now, the one at the top, entire screen, that is the best option if you wish to show your screen and show multiple different things at once. So maybe you want to show them a resource on the internet, a PowerPoint, a video, whatever it is. That's the best option there. But that's only the best option if you want to show multiple different things. The second option, a window, is the best option if you want to show a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF or something like that. And it brings up all of your windows. And if you select the PowerPoint presentation that you want to share, always remove the little message at the bottom here by clicking hide. If you leave it on this screen here where you've got all the slides down the side, this is what students will see, and it won't therefore be the biggest version of what students can see. So I would always recommend you go into present mode to show them that slideshow. But the key with presenting a window, if you want to navigate towards something else, you want to go back to the chat, or you want to go and look at something on a web browser or an email, the students will not see it. They are locked into viewing that window only, and that's the best way to present a PowerPoint or something like that. The third and final option for presenting is Tab, and that's the one to use if you wish to show something that's in your web browser. So maybe a Google Slides presentation, and that will then bring up all the tabs that you want to show. And again, you can share that tab, but students are locked into that tab, and it's clear which tab students are able to see, because there's a blue box on that tab at the top there, which means you can navigate to other programs, emails, other tabs, and students will not see it. And my final tip in this short video are just some basic PowerPoint functionality. So if you ever move your cursor, when you're in present mode on PowerPoint, if you move your cursor down to the bottom left, there's a pen icon. And the pen has a few functions. The laser pointer is really helpful because it can help you draw students' attention towards a word or a picture on the screen, and that appears on their screen when you're presenting it. So the laser pointer is really, really helpful. You could also select the pen tool, which allows you to write words. Now, that's quite difficult if you haven't got a stylus or a graphics pad, but it is possible to do. But you can also use it to underline things and so on. There's also a highlighter button in there where you can highlight words in a text or something like that. And you can select the eraser, or you can select erase all link to remove all that very, very quickly. And one final tip about PowerPoint: if you want to show students some information and then hide it very quickly, if you just press the B key, it sends the screen to all black. And if you press it again, it brings it back. Very easy way to ask students to do some recall exercises without the slide still being on the screen and without having to remove the entire presentation from that screen.